Hey happy homemakers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I have a lot to get done, so I actually made myself a to-do list and I kind of put things on there that I want to get done today and also things that I want to get done later on in the week at some point, things for tomorrow. And so yeah, I feel a little bit better actually just having a list written down, and I felt less overwhelmed. I've been so overwhelmed since we moved into this new house, part of why I haven't been recording, but after I did my pantry video, I was inspired to put some new videos up. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me today as I just get some regular cleaning. I have a bunch of laundry that I've fallen behind on because I was doing other things in the house, and my stove. You guys will have to let me know if you have any tips for this. I spilled water on the stove and now it won't start, so I'm hoping it dries out.
So basically, long story short, Aaron had taken apart the stove because I spilled water on it the night before, and I had cleaned the water up immediately, but when he went to make his breakfast this morning, the stove was just sparking and sparking and sparking. Now, I thought he had said it wouldn't light, and so I tested a bunch of stuff trying to get it to light, but it wasn't that it wouldn't light, it was just sparking the whole time he was using it. So there was food and stuff on this, like, you know, grease from him doing bacon and stuff like that on the stovetop, and I was like, how in the world did this get dirty? Because we haven't used it since I cleaned it, but that's what it was. I misunderstood him. It was working for him. It was just sparking, sparking, sparking the whole time he was using it.
Okay, this is a brand new stove and we already have this, even though we've been really vigilant to try to clean it right away. Do you guys have any recommendations for that? Because it just already looks terrible and it's only a month old. So give me your advice in the comments down below because I've been trying to figure this out.
Okay, so I was talking you guys through this entire process, but it got to be a little long and boring, so I just wanted to do a quick voiceover summary just in case anyone else comes across this problem. What happened was he did get it to light and he cooked his breakfast, but it was just sparking the entire time he was cooking. I thought when I was trying to fix it that it wouldn't light for him. Left side wouldn't light for me, the right side would. I essentially just used a lighter to get those two burners to light, and then I let them burn for about 30 to 60 seconds, hopefully dry up any water.
Maybe it just needed to dry out. Okay.
Maybe that would still kind of be in there, burn it out, whatever. And that worked fine. The stove is working perfectly good now. It's not sparking or anything like that. So just want to give you guys that tip in case any of you run across this issue of dumping a whole pot of water on your stove. I've done it multiple other times in my life, but this is the first time I've had something like this happen.
So I got these little strips because there's a pretty nice size gap here. But these just slip right in. I got these off Amazon and I've been loving those just to keep me from dropping food back behind here because I'm pretty messy when I cook. And I also got one. We were trying to get one for the stovetop, but they're very expensive, and well, I say very expensive. It was like 50 bucks. To me, that seems expensive for just a mat to go on your stove, but it still left a large like space around there. It wasn't like custom cut to our oven, so we're gonna look and see if we can find one that we could get that was specifically designed for this. It had a spot for this, but it just left too much open space. We're like, it's still gonna get dirty and we're gonna have to move it and clean it. So we didn't leave that one on there, but we have one down here. I've been wanting one of these too, so if anything spills and burns down on the bottom of your oven, this just comes right out and cleans up. So I always find that whenever, you know, something is brand new, if you can keep stains from forming, that's always the easiest way to keep it clean, right? So anyway, super excited about those two little things. It's the little things in life, right?
So I went ahead and decided to get started in the kitchen first, but I wanted to light up some candles. These are actually just candles that I made myself in repurposed jars.
Can you see me shaking? Hear the sound of my heart breaking. Bless the soul that's aching, hoping I survive.
So if you've ever bought a brand new house, you know. If not, you may not be familiar with it. So I'm just going to explain. Whenever your house is finished construction, what they have you do is they have you go around and check and make sure like any cosmetic damage or anything that you see that's not done correctly. and you mark it with blue painter's tape. So that is what the blue painter's tape is. It was pointing to an area on the cabinet underneath the dishwasher where the wood was splintered. Before our closing, they're supposed to do all of that, but they didn't finish most of the cosmetics. We have had people here like the entire month, and I'm showing you guys this mug here that I got at home for Mother's Day. They were giving those away with any $50 purchase at home, and I thought that one was so cute. You had to have like a little coupon for being on their like reward system or whatever, but I love At Home. That has got to be my most favorite store to shop at now that I'm like buying stuff for my home. And then I get distracted here because when I bent down to pick up that dish I dropped, I realized, oh my goodness, there's like all kind of, I don't know, I think it was tea that was splattered all over this cabinet, and so I started getting sidetracked with doing that, but then I went back to the dishes. So long story longer, that's what that blue tape was. And actually, while I was recording this voiceover, the cabinet guys came and took care of everything. It only took them about 15 minutes. We had like 4 different spots on there to do. Yeah, it's all fixed now and it looks great. So I'm just continuing on by cleaning up these pans. I have this mixture of Dawn dish soap and water. It's my own little power wash. And then I also have this little scraper here. I think this is what's that brand that people sell? Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name right now, but you guys probably know. You can leave it in the comments down below. Anyway, you can get those all over the place now, but that's one of my most favorite things to use on these stainless steel pans is to scrape the food out so it doesn't get stuck all in my ones that have like bristles and stuff.
Can't forgive myself for losing you. Try to leave, you still make me wanna stay. You ask me to believe in the words that you say, but I can't be strong if you can't move on.
And then it was time to move on to the laundry, so I had one more load that was still in the laundry room. I brought in here, and I wanted to go ahead and open up the windows, so it kind of messes up the lighting, but don't worry, I fix it in just a moment. I like to get some sunshine in here in the mornings before it gets too hot. I usually have to close them back up in the afternoon because it is hot here in Texas. It's been in the 80s for months now. We've had a few days of cool mixed in, but it started hitting like 80s, 90s in February, which we did get some breaks in March. It started to get like, you know, it was kind of sporadic through February, March, but now that we are in April and May, it's pretty solidly warm every day. And so I do love letting the sunshine in, but it gets so hot. It makes my AC work harder to leave the blinds open. And that's the only reason I don't leave them open all day is, you know, just to conserve a little bit. So while I was doing all of this, you guys will see me later on go and close the blinds, but I was able to leave them open and get some sunshine for a few hours.
But lately things have been the same, and it's my heart you're holding back again, and I can't be strong if you can't move.
sorted the clothes out by putting my husband and I's together and then the two girls together and then separating the towels so that I could go ahead and do those first. Now on this day, I actually only got the towels done because when I finished all of this, I realized, thanks to my list that I had written out, that I was supposed to be cooking some chicken for my husband's lunches, and I totally forgot until I looked back at my list, thankfully. So once I did this, it was actually time to go and get Lexa from school. So I ended up only getting the towels and stuff folded, and all the clothes had to wait for another day. But I do want to encourage you guys, as I always do, that it is okay if you don't get everything done on one day. Sometimes just sorting things out make the pile seem a little less daunting the next day. And if you guys are like me, by the time it's about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, things start to look like more and more difficult. By the time it gets to be 3 to 5 to 7 p.m., little tasks seem like mountains. As I get tired, things just seem to be like, this is so much harder. And sometimes just leaving something for the next day, it's like, okay, this is not so bad. So I had 3 laundry baskets left after this. It was probably at least 5 loads of laundry because those were heaping baskets full that did not get done that day. And guess what? They didn't get done the next day either. Such is life sometimes. Just be encouraged that we all go through it. This day I cleaned for hours and hours, and I really honestly felt like I didn't get anything done except basic homemaking because I had to cook lunches for my husband, and then I also had to get some other things done that you guys saw me do in this video, and also had to get dinner cooked and cleaned up. And I didn't even get everything that I had to do this day that I actually did on camera. And I actually felt on this day that I didn't accomplish anything. Anytime I only get my basic homemaking task done, I feel kind of like a failure in a way. And you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you feel the same way. But recording the video and going back and watching it, I'm like, wow, I really did do a lot. So just wanted to encourage you guys, sometimes we are our own worst critics. If all you did was your basic things of getting your family fed and a few things tidied up around the house, you did good today, because guess what? That is a lot still. I did so much cooking and washing dishes on this day, and my camera battery died on me a few times, and there was cleaning that I did in between the battery dying. And so when I look back at these clips, I was like, as much as I normally would have had a day like this and felt like, wow, I cleaned all day, but I didn't get anything accomplished, I really did get a lot accomplished. And sometimes your life just takes over, and it takes 2 to 3 days to get things back on track. My biggest thing right now, though, is that I have so much unpacking that I need to do, and I'm barely keeping up with the day-to-day stuff. And it's partly because I am still commuting the girls to their old school. Since we moved, we're about 30 minutes from their school, but I wanted them to finish the school year. They are only in like a preschool and kindergarten program that, I could have obviously pulled them out if I had to, but I didn't want to do that. They love their school. So basically I've been having a 2-hour commute between bringing them there, coming home, and then going to get them and coming back home. It's been at least 2 to 3 hours on the road because sometimes in the afternoon there's traffic, and it's just consumed a lot of my day. So I definitely am ready for the summer, but I'm sad for them to leave the school they've been at. It has been such a blessing to us. It's been so nice having them ease into school, and we've really loved it there. I'm sad that Kenzie's not going to be able to go because Lexa is aging out. They only go up to kindergarten, but Kenzie could have gone for a couple more years there, and I really wish she could, but obviously it's a little too far away. And the school Lexa's going to be going to, she got accepted to a Christian first grade that we were trying to get her into, and it's the opposite direction. So anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and take care of some of this bedding, and I ended up actually just taking these fitted sheets and putting them inside of pillowcases and sticking them in the other room for now.
Buy what I want, I don't want it. Do what I like, I don't like it. My life is a mess, screaming with boredom. I don't feel nothing when I'm buzzing. Someone add some glamorous hurt. 'Cause when I sleep, I long for insomnia. They say you have to be beaten up before you're tender enough. They say you have to bruise to feel. when I split, shoot me a blink. I'm dying from boredom. I even lie when I tell the truth. Honestly, what's the use? They say you have to be beaten up before you're tender enough. They say you have to bruise to feel. I must be made out of steel.
So I wanted to show you guys these muffin packs that I've been making for the girls. I've been really struggling to find snacks that won't completely fill them up, that aren't junk, and will just kind of hold them over to dinner after school. And muffins have been the thing. Now, obviously, it's better when I can make them from scratch. These are not the best, but you know, they're better than chips, I feel like, or something like that. But the reason I like these little packs is because they only make 6 muffins, and typically when I'm trying to do muffins from scratch, it makes like 18 to 24 or more, and I end up having to freeze them. Now, I also want to show you guys, I've been trying out every plate the last few months, and I really do enjoy it. This video is not sponsored or anything, but I didn't realize every plate is actually created by HelloFresh, but it's cheaper. I'm not really sure what it is. The only thing I can think is I've noticed the last few boxes that I've gotten that a lot of the ingredients for the meals are pretty similar, and so maybe that's why they've been able to make them cheaper. I'm not really sure. I guess I could probably do some research and find out. But I love about these boxes is the meat feels like so much fresher. And so for like HelloFresh and Blue Apron and some of the other ones I've tried, I really enjoyed the meals. I really enjoy the concept, but it's way more expensive than just going to the grocery store and getting it. But I found with every plate, I don't feel like it's really that much more expensive, and my family's eating more of a variety. I'm also making these muffins here. I wanted to bring muffins to school for Lexa on this day because I had some errands to run. She always acts like she's starving when she comes out. So I was hurrying up and just getting these in the oven so they could have time to cool and I could bring them with me to pick her up, which of course on this day she ended up not being hungry, like for the first time ever, because I thought ahead and brought a snack. You guys, let me know in the comments down below, your kids the same way. Anytime I plan ahead, it's like they change things on me. Another thing that we discovered moving to the new house, our water is totally undrinkable, and apparently it is a known thing in this area that the water just cannot be drunk. So we are looking at getting a whole house water filter system. It's frustrating because we were not informed of this ahead of time. Of course, they're trying to sell the house. They're not going to tell you that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's been a little frustrating having to deal with that. So we've been getting quotes from different companies, plumbers and water filtration companies and stuff like that, trying to figure out what system to put in. But until then, I'm having to go to the grocery store and get like 10 gallons of water every day for us to drink because we can't cook with it or anything. It just tastes so bad that like if I cook with it, then it destroys the recipes. It's kind of crazy, and it's also not very clean. So here I am bringing in all of the groceries and gallons of water. I needed a couple of little things. I'll show you guys the haul in a second, but I picked Lexa up from school and grabbed my gallons of water. On this day, decided to go ahead and get 12 gallons because we need 10 gallons, but every time we go to our local Walmart, for whatever reason, they are out, and we only end up being able to grab 2, and then I have to go to another Walmart, and so I just wanted a buffer of a couple extra gallons for this week.
So we got 12 gallons of water right here. I'm gonna go ahead and make Aaron's chicken for his lunches. I'm glad that was on my list because I almost forgot. And I needed a few additional things at Walmart. I got some half and half, which is what we put in our coffee. Some chips for the girls' lunches. They had Cheez-Its, and Lexa said today after she had her sandwich, she's like, I really like some chips. So we got some chips since we were going to Walmart anyway. Now Alexa wanted to try seaweed. I don't know what she watched or what she learned in school, but she came home one day wanting to try seaweed. So I actually got this today at Walmart. This is the only kind of seaweed they had, but they actually were not too bad. I'm gonna insert a clip that I took to send to Aaron of them trying it. All right, Lex has been asking to try seaweed. So we got these. They're wasabi, so I don't think they're gonna be spicy, so I got some other ones for her to try too. But let's see what she thinks. All right, give one to Kenzie. All right, I wanna see what y'all think about it. What do you think?
It's a little bit spicy.
Is it spicy?
I like it.
You like it? Kind of tastes like spinach to me, or like collard greens, actually. So I'm actually shocked they didn't hate it. They actually liked it. Kenzie ended up saying she liked it at first and then she didn't like it, but Lexa liked it and she ate like one of these whole packs by herself of the blue ones. So I think that the sea salt was better than the wasabi, but I will tell you guys, it took me a minute to figure out what it reminded me of. It reminds me of kale. If you've ever had kale chips, that's kind of what this tastes like. Both of these is like hold on honey, a really like dark leafy green kind of flavor. What'd you think about those, Kenzie? You didn't end up liking them, huh? Yeah. Okay. And then we also got some off-brand Nutella, the hazelnut spread, Great Value hazelnut spread. We call it Nutella, but it is Walmart's version of that.
So just a little note on that seaweed. I was starving when I tasted that seaweed. Well, I shouldn't say that. I was extremely hungry. And so I was like, oh, this tastes pretty good. I tried some later that night after dinner, after I gave Aaron I took another bite of one, like I took another one out. And I was like, this is gross. It was so fishy. So, I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but I think the way I would describe it is it tastes like kale. If you've ever made kale chips, which actually some kale chips I've had can be very good, but it's just a very, very strong like green flavor, I guess leafy green kind of flavor. And anyway, so yeah, fishy kind of, I don't know. I think it would be a very specific palate that would like this. Most people probably wouldn't like it unless they're used to eating this kind of stuff. So yeah, I was really shocked that Lexa loved it. After dinner this day, she asked for more and ate like a whole pack of the little sea salt ones. So I'm like, whatever, I'm sure it's healthy for you, so you can have it. But I'm just showing you guys here how making Aaron's lunches. It was just some chicken breasts that I kind of cut in half to make them a little thinner. And I used garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, a little bit of Tony's, and smoked paprika, and just put it in the oven at 375 for 45 minutes. And they cooked up nice and juicy. And then I just diced them up, as you guys will see a little bit later, and throw them in a lunch container with some vegetables. And I'll show you guys in a moment, but I actually just take the frozen vegetables and throw them in the dish. And a lot of times I'll just add some seasoning to them, maybe some butter, just depending on what they were. On this day, I just threw them in there because when he warms up his lunch, then it'll cook the vegetables. So it works out really well. It's something we do all the time now. Super easy, low carb lunch for him to have during the week.
Have this strangest feeling, don't know what to believe in. Every time you touch me, I can't control my body. Oh, baby, you are on my mind. All I think about, and I don't wanna stop.
Guys may have noticed in one of the earlier clips that I got some chicken, like raw chicken juice on this counter. So I just want to make sure that I cleaned it off really well so I wasn't cross-contaminating anything around the house. And then I wanted to go ahead and just get this water moved down onto the dining room floor. We've been just lining them up behind our dining room table. Like I said, we are in talks with several different plumbers, getting quotes, trying to figure out how we can get a water system that's not going to cost us $10,000. We've had a very wide variety of quotes, and we found one that he seemed really honest, and he was like less than a third of what the first guy quoted us. So I think we know who we're going to go through, but we have one more quote that we're getting before we make a final decision whether we want to buy our own system and just have a plumber put it in, or if we want to go with a company that'll just do everything for us. So anyway, that is a process.
I look into your eyes and everything is different.
And And here I am closing the blinds up like I told you guys earlier because it was getting hot in the house. And I wanted to go through and just pick up all of the art supplies the girls had left all over the table. We always have paper on the table. And then I had a few items here that needed to be hung in the bathroom that Erin had put there. Look at Lexa's drawing I was showing you guys. She's such a good little artist. I love watching her like blossom. I think she definitely got that knack from her dad. My husband is like an amazing artist. It's not something he takes time for, but like he could literally do an old portrait that looked like a photo. Like that's how good he is. He's really good at that kind of stuff. Anyway, showing you guys these curtains that I got. It's a light sage. You may have seen in some of the other clips the little flower that I have. It's like a painting print, whatever. It's a framed thing. I had it sitting on the side. You may have seen it in one of the other clips, but it has like a light sage color, and I want to incorporate that throughout the house. So I did get these curtains, and I'm just waiting on our curtain rods to come in so Erin can hang it for me. I really am excited to see how those look in here because I feel like it's a nice calming color without being too like much, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see.
They're doing art lessons with a YouTube art hub, so I'm not going to talk a lot, but because I don't know how loud that's going to be. But this is all stuff that I'm not really sure what to do with. So I think I'm just gonna put this in the closet for now, but that's why it was on the table, because I wasn't sure what to do with it. And I'm still not sure if we're gonna put this on the counter or not. I have so much on the counters already, and I told you guys in my last video, but I don't like a lot on the countertops. It is convenient to have this espresso maker for hot water and stuff though. So actually I think we have room for it here. I just have to like, this looks like enough space. I think I cleared some things out. So I think I'm gonna set it up here actually. I had talked that through with you guys.
You and I, we never show emotions, we just keep it down inside.
I might end up switching these two, but I don't know. I'm gonna let it sit here for a few days and see how I feel about it. Now, I just wanted to go ahead and remove the rest of the stuff that needs to find a new home and then just wipe down the dining room table. And I found one of the girls' earrings. Those are just showing up everywhere, I feel like.
Say it loud, wake the world on the other side, make it real, just let yourself go, just let go.
To make some sweet tea for dinner. That's what I was going ahead and doing here. And we actually weaned ourselves down years ago. I'm from a family that does insanely sweet tea because we're Southern. And we weaned ourselves down to half a cup of sugar. And now my husband and I are used to that. We love it. It's great like that. It gets better as it sits in the fridge. And then I fill it up with water to the 3-liter mark. So if I go all the way up to the top of the gallon, then it ends up being like not quite the right ratio. It's too watery. I've tried making it stronger to be able to do the full gallon of water and played around with it, and this is just our best way to do it. So now I decided to go ahead and start prepping dinner, and I am just pulling everything out of the box for this particular meal. I was looking at my recipe card here and doing it because I had all of the things that didn't need to be refrigerated in this one box in the pantry, and so I was just pulling out what I needed. So what I have decided to start doing is just getting that once a month to change things up. It's just a little bit more expensive than what we would normally spend on like our dinners. Okay, so this is kind of funny. I got my hand stuck in the side handle of this bucket. I don't know how I did that, but I literally struggled to get my hand. I'm just laughing at myself because I like could not get my hand out. It was a struggle. Basically, back to the cost. If I were to buy all of these ingredients at the grocery store to have a variety of meals like this box gives us, I probably wouldn't see much of a price difference at all. One of the big ways that I save on our grocery bill is by basically making larger quantities of meals and having leftovers. If I go and get separate ingredients for 5 different separate meals like I get in this box, it would probably be at least this much. It definitely is worth the value to me as someone who, you know, budgets on groceries. Again, it's a little more expensive than I normally spend, but it's only because I'm normally getting like ingredients for only 2 meals. If I were to do this, it probably would be close to the same cost. So.
All right, so I have all of my ingredients here for the Cuban style black bean and yellow rice bowls with salsa fresca, lime crema, and green pepper.
I also wanted to make a note here on serving sizes for these, and we get the serving size for 4 people, and I would say it probably isn't quite enough for like 4 adults. For us, my husband and I eat on it, so 2 adults, and then my kids, which my kids probably eat the amount of half of an adult or less. They really don't eat that much. And so we have enough left over for each time we've made this. And this is like our 4th box. Each time we've made it, we've had enough for my husband and I to both get full, the girls, and then enough for either my husband or I to eat it the next day for leftovers. So I would say this feeds 3.5 adults. So if you were to try to feed, like, you know, you have 2 teenagers that eat like adults or something like that, I would say you need a little something to add to these meals to make them for 4 people, unless you're smaller eaters. So wanted to mention that because for me, when I saw these meal kits, that was always like what I thought about. Now, I am going to put a link for you guys for like a free box. I think I only have 4 because I'm not, like I said, I'm not sponsored. This is just a code that any customer would get. And so they do give me like a $20 credit on my next box if you use my credit for a free box. But I think I only have 4 of those. I don't know if I earn them as I get boxes, but I know I had 5 and then I gave one to my sister. So I'll put a link on there. If it, you know, if you go to click on it and it doesn't work, it means that it's already been used up. And so you can easily find codes though online if you just look, and you can get your first box free just to try it out. So anyway, well, again, not sponsored, but I just really have been enjoying it. And since I was cooking it on this day, I was like, oh, I should go ahead and tell them how we're liking it. But again, I need to go back and check HelloFresh and some of the other ones out because I haven't in several years, and just see how I feel that the prices compare. I think the price gap is a lot smaller now that prices have gone up. Maybe that's part of it as well. With inflation and stuff, I just haven't found it to be that much more expensive because I always loved these meal kit as an idea, but I just couldn't personally justify the added expense. And so now it's not that big of a difference for us, if at all. You know, like I said, if I was to try and make 5 totally separate meals, it might not make that big of a difference at all. Anyway, so I'm just going to continue to chop things up. Lexa was doing a drawing video, but Kenzie wanted to help me cook, so I was letting her tear the leaves off the cilantro. I try so hard when I'm cooking to find something the girls can help me with, and on this day, everything was chopping, so she couldn't really help with anything. And when I saw the cilantro, I was like, perfect. I hate doing that anyway, so it was perfect. She had so much fun. We just chatted together while I cooked, and she talked to me about the leaves of the cilantro. Kids come up with the best little conversations. And so we actually had a little bit of bonding time here while I was chopping up and getting ready for dinner.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for what I have put you through. I still have you on my mind, my mind. My focus been drifting away from you. Just wasn't our time, our time. You can say what you want, but I know you hurt at night. But I tried and I tried and I tried to hold you tight. So
all right, so this was getting to be a little long, so I didn't record all of it, but we have our black beans here, the rice for the bowls. Looks really good. I already snuck a taste of that. These are the vegetables. I forgot this was a meatless option and I didn't add the chicken, so I put the chicken back in the fridge. I'm glad I caught myself because I was about to add that chicken, but that goes for another recipe. So everything is ready to go. This is like the homemade little pico de gallo that goes with it. She is working on the crema, which is like sour cream, lime juice. I need to add salt and pepper to that. And then these are just to squeeze some over, and then there's a little more cilantro for garnish. So these two are basically garnish. Aaron got home a little bit early today, but he went out to mow the grass. I need to assemble his chicken plates, so I'm going to clean up, just cover everything so that it stays warm, and go ahead and clean up from cooking dinner, assemble his lunches, and then it'll be time to, hopefully Aaron will be done and we can go ahead and eat dinner. These are clean.
I was disappointed that those dishes in the dishwasher were clean because it meant I needed to clean everything up to be able to take the clean ones out before I could put the dirty ones in there instead of just throwing the dirty ones. So everything needed salt and pepper added to it, and so I went ahead and did that. I have noticed with these recipes from Every Plate that every single step tells you to salt and pepper things, and if you do that, it is so incredibly salty at the end of the process. So what I've started doing is waiting until I have all the ingredients combined and adding my salt and pepper at the end while the things cook down. So I just went ahead and cleaned off my little space here and my chopping board so that I could go ahead and chop up Aaron's chicken for his lunches, and I covered everything that was on the stove so it could stay warm while we waited on Aaron to finish up doing the yard, because I knew he was gonna have to take a quick shower as well before he could sit down and eat dinner with us.
I don't care if you don't wanna do all the things that I do, that I do. I only wanna be the one who makes you feel so good, so good. I'm trying to figure out where all of the pieces are going to fit, but I stumble in the dark when I am not with you.
So when I finished assembling Aaron's lunches, he was done with the yard, but he had to run and take his shower. So while we were still waiting to be able to eat dinner, I went ahead and off camera unloaded the dishwasher, and then you guys see me here reloading the dishwasher, and I just kind of worked on this until he was ready to eat.
Don't wanna lose, yeah, lose, yeah. I wanna be the one. Don't wanna lose, yeah, lose, yeah. I wanna be the one that makes your heart run wild. I don't mind if you need to figure some things out by yourself, as long as you're committed to me and not somebody else, somebody else.
So after this, we ate dinner, and then I did not record myself cleaning up from dinner. I had another like 30 minutes of dishes to do, cleaning the pots and stuff like that, but I was kind of just done recording on this day. Like I said earlier in the video, my battery had died multiple times, and so anyway, I knew this video was probably getting over 30 minutes and possibly close to 45 minutes long, so I was like, you know what? This is good. This is enough footage for today. So this is how the dinner turned out. It was really good. Aaron actually ended up wanting to take the leftovers for lunch the other day, and I felt like his lunches were a little small, so ended up combining the 4 lunches I had made for him into 3 and sending him the leftovers from this for the next day. So this was a really fun meatless option that was really filling because of the black beans and the rice, and the girls actually even really enjoyed it. I was worried they weren't gonna like it, so a lot of times when I have a recipe like this, I will make theirs separate, let them taste it, and then mix it together like it's supposed to be, just to kind of ease them into eating eating it. I don't know. But this was really delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Got a lot of motivation for your day. And again, encourage you guys. We all have a lot on our plate. If you didn't get everything done today, that is okay. You are doing a great job. And I hope that you have a wonderful day of homemaking. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.